O Ramani Nama me ruchira, O Ramani Nama me ruchira.
At one point he thought, Valmiki says, that if Rama comes here, he will find it very difficult to win over the city and especially its king. Imam tvavishamam lankam durgam ravana palitam prapyapi sumahabahuhu kim karishyati raghava. Only 4 people can reach here, he thinks. Who are those? Sugriva, Neela, Angada, Hanuman. Besides me, there are 3 people, including me, there are 4 people who can come. Well, I have thought enough about Lanka and enough about who can come here. First, let me do all of this thinking after I see Sita. Yavajjanami vaidehim yadi jivati vanava tatraiva chintayishyami drishtva tvam janakatmajam. I will first see Sita. Now he reduced himself to the size of a cat. He did not turn into a cat. He assumed the size of a cat. Surye chastam gate ratrau deham sankshipya marutihi vrishadam shakamatrotha babhuvadbhuta darshanaha. At that point in time, as he took the size of a cat and slowly walked on the sands, when I was about to reach, a huge trident was placed on the sands. He looked up, he saw the immigration officer of Lanka. She was the one who was the security of Lanka. Her name was Lankini. Kastvam kena chakaryena iha prapto vanalaya kathaye swehayat tattvam yavat prana dharanti te. What is the purpose that you have come into this territory? Who are you, first of all? Asked Lankini. Hanuman said, Vananyupavananiha lankayaha kananani cha sarvato grihya mukhyani drashtum agamanam hime. So I have come here because Lanka is said to be a beautiful place of gardens and waterfalls. As a tourist I have come from Bharatadesham, he said. How did she look? It seems she had 8 shoulders. She had 4 faces. She was very different from a normal human being. Yettu tholal, nalu muhattal, உலகு ஏழும் தொட்டு பெருசோதி நிறத்தாள் சுழல் கண்ணாள் முட்டிப்போரில் உலகத்தை முதலோடும் கட்டி சிறுமாகாலன் பலத்தாள் கமகிலாள், says the Tamil poet Kamban. And as she was arguing with Hanuman thought, what should I do next? Before he was able to convey his thoughts, she gave one good shot on his head. Hanuman thought, she may raise her fist again to give another shot. If she gives another shot, I will not survive. So let me do a tit for tat. He jumped onto her and gave her a shot. You know what happened? She did not fall. She immediately was able to convey what she had forgotten. It seems she had remembered something but had forgotten all these years. She was able to remember what she had forgotten. She said, at one point in time I was cursed by Brahma that I should be born as a security officer of Lanka. When I asked him, why are you sending me to earth? I have committed no mistake. He said, you will have to bear the brunt for the sins you have committed, but you shall come back to your original abode after having been a Lankini. She asked, how long? When will I know that I should come back? There will be an extraordinary monkey that will come and hit on you. That point in time you come back. Hey Hanuman, you have relieved me. You have given emancipation to me. Thank you. And she left. And while going, she said, whatever you wish to accomplish, you shall. Like how Surasa Nagamata had blessed, she too blessed. Sita nimittam rajnastu ravanasya duratmanaha rakshasam chaiva sarvesham vinasha samupagataha tat pravishya harisreshtha Purim Ravana Palitam Vidhvastvas Sarvakaryani Yani Yani Hi Vanchasi. And as he reached Lanka, entered Lanka, he found houses of various types. All this has been mentioned. As per Varaha Mihira Samhita, different styles of houses were found. He was able to listen to different instruments. Hasitotkrishta ninadai sturya ghosha puraskritaihi, the laughter of the people, the music that emanated from the traditional instruments, all this was heard by Hanuman. Well, as he continued walking by the streets of Lanka, in the late night, say in the mid of the night, the entire city slept. When I say slept, there was pin drop silence. Everybody started sleeping. Generally, we all have this habit of saying to our friends and followers and relatives, please come to my city, sir. They will ask, oh, by the time I reach, it will be 11:30, 12 in the night. Is it okay? Don't worry. Our city is very busy. Remember, if a city is busy in the night, that means there are some activities that happen which go outside the government's purview. So a city has to sleep in the night. When there is moon, everybody sleeps. When there is sun, everybody works. That is a general norm. So how was Lanka? Everybody slept in the night. Was Lanka better than any other city? I do not know for any other city, but for London, it was much better than London. I'll tell you how. Oliver Goldsmith wrote this beautiful piece called The Citizen of the World. And in that, there is a smaller piece called a city night piece. He describes London as a city in the mid of the night. Look at how he describes. The clock has just struck 2. The expiring taper rises and sinks in the socket. The watchman forgets the hour in slumber. The drunkard once more fills the destroying bowl. The robber walks his midnight round, and the suicide lifts his guilty arm against his own sacred person. The laborious and the happy are at rest, and nothing wakes but meditation, guilty, revelry, and despair. So he says that the madman alone did not sleep. Everybody else slept. But you know how was Lanka? The Tamil poet Kamban says, Uranga pittanum uranginan. Everybody slept, including the person who is mentally disturbed. He also took some rest. So London was a city where everybody slept except the man in despair, except the man who was mentally retarded. Whereas in Lanka, even the person with mental disturbances was able to sleep peacefully, to say that in those days, Lanka was a better tourist destination than London. Here, as he goes by the streets of Lanka, Tulasidas in his Ramacharitamana states, Bhavan ek puni dikh suhava, Hari mandir tah bhinna banawa. It was like Hari's temple. He looked at a certain mansion and he thought it was Lord's temple. Ramayudha ankit griha shobha baranina jai. It seems there was depiction of the weapons of the Lord, the Panchayudham on the walls. Nav tulsi ka brind tah dekhe harish kapirai. The Hanuman became so happy because he saw tulsi ka brind. He saw the leaves of tulsi being grown in that courtyard. And this was none but the house of Vibhishana. And as he continued, he was searching for Sita. He went to the hangar where he saw Pushpaka Vimanam which was stationed there. So how was the Pushpaka Vimanam? Valmiki describes. It seems that it was driven by swans and there was an artificial pond amidst it. Niyujjamanascha gajasuhasta sakesaraschotpala patrahastaha babhuva devi cha kritasuhasta lakshmisthata padmini padmahasta. Lakshmisthata. Hanuman has been chosen for a variety of reasons. Of course, he is a favorite across all ages. He is one way the hero of Ramayanam. Though he comes in the latter half, he is still very strong. The visionaries, the board members, the committee members and the volunteers the Kainkariya Paras of the upcoming Hanuman Temple in the US. Of course, I'm very thankful to my good friend Sri Ranganathan from Giri Trading for facilitating this, so that their intent was to take the essence of Sundara Kandam to as many devotees as possible, and to also spread the word of the upcoming Hanuman Temple in the US. I also thank the organizers for arranging this Upanyasam, and if I have committed any mistakes in this due course, kindly forgive me. My intent was only to bring the essence of Srimad Ramayanam and the greatness of Hanuman in Sundara Kandam. Kavitarkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha.